listen, he had to listen to people all season saying, why he do that? He can't do it. He's 42. He's 43.
Based in Houston, we have a problem.
Many of us have heard that Vincent Jackson, who was a former wide receiver in the NFL, was found deceased in a hotel. And first of all, that led to so many questions. Why was he living in a hotel? Because apparently he had been staying there for a month, like staying at the hotel. So why was he there? Was he COVID quarantining? But that don't take a month, and
the family was looking for him. They thought he was missing.
Right. And so they said that they were looking for him, and the police found him like a few days before he passed. They found him and they talked to him and they said, okay, we've done the mental health check. Everything's fine. Go on about your day. So everything was good. And then a few days later, they found him. One of the hotel staff members found him in the room. And so I'm like, what happens? Because with him as well, it was alcoholism. And it led me to think, like, what happens with these players? Is it they can't adjust to life outside of the league? Is it that they had all these problems and the league kind of masked it because they were caught up in the game and they had something positive, and then when that ended, they didn't have anything else? Like, what was it? I don't know him. I didn't know Vincent Jackson like that. I knew who he was. I heard of him, but I didn't know a lot about him. What is it? And then Ryan Leaf, I saw an article with him. He was so upset about Vincent Jackson, and what he was saying, he made valid points. He was saying that he feels like there should be a program in place, and he made such sense. A program in place of when a player leaves the NFL, they have to go through this program to prepare them for life outside of, so that when they enter that life, they will be set, they will be stable, and it's not just, okay, you're done here. Now it's like, now what do I do? Kids, when they're leaving high school to go to college, there's college prep, there's this, there's that. NFL players don't have anything. Once
they have it coming in, because all they was worried about, excuse me for cutting you off, but they have it cutting in because I know somebody, because all they was worried about was, we don't want to take care of you once you leave the league and be broke. So we're going to set you up with a financial advisor and planner. So that's mandatory for all rookies to have a financial advisor and a financial planner. But they don't have nothing when they go to leave.
And it's like basically saying, okay, we've used your services. Thank you. Bye. Like, we don't need you no more. That to me is a sign of disrespect. Exactly. I think it's a sign that you love money more than people. And I understand it's a business. Don't get me wrong, but you should care enough about the people that help you to have this successful business to treat them well and make sure they don't become statistics and crazy people after they leave.
And I think it has something to do with the concussions too, Sabrina, because the football players that's dying and committing suicide and all these other things are much higher with football than any other sport.
Yep.
They all have vices. They all have vices, but it seems like the football players are going through this at a higher rate than any other sport. So you can't tell me it's not all bound into one.
Yeah.
The fact that they have these vices and the impact from, playing, or just the brutality, like I was telling you a couple of episodes ago, listening to those two defensive players, you got to almost go in dog beast mode to play.
To get
you have
yourself,
to be savage, so.
And they were saying that the autopsy is still being performed on Vincent Jackson, but the preliminary results showed that it could be CTE related, in addition to the alcohol as well. It was like a combination. So I don't know if the alcohol was first, if the CTE was first, and so he drank to mask it. I don't know. I just know, I like what Ryan Leaf said. He said I can see
they have
the entire program, and he said they can be former players that kind of like welcome you in. Okay, this is what it was like for me. Have a safe place to talk about what am I going to do with the rest of my life. And you have people who have been through it, and they have people in place to guide you through. There should be something. And you mean to tell me the NFL can't afford that? It could cost them $10 million. Let's say it costs them $10 million a year just to put on this program. That's like $100 for us.
Each team should donate $1 million towards the program.
That's $32 million right there. You could have a successful program.
What are you really doing for them but giving them tutorials and hooking them up with life coaches? So it's not even going to cost that much when you think about it.
I think the NFL should offer paid health care for their players for a certain number of years after they leave. Maybe they do it, and I don't know. But you don't mean to tell me, and I guess they don't want to do it because if they find something, then they're going to say, oh, it's the NFL's fault, so now you have to pay. But I think they should care enough about these players to put something in place to make sure that they're mentally sound and physically and emotionally sound and prepared. That they should make them write the plan out. This is what I'm going to do with my life after I leave. Because like you said, the average football career is only a couple of years. They need to do something.
Yes.
I'm going to get off my soapbox, but that was bothering.
That was a great topic, Sabrina, because it needs to be said. Like it happens every day, but no one talks about it.
Yeah, and think about Junior Seau. Remember how?
Oh man, I was sick when that was one of my favorite players. I was sick when that happened to him.
Yeah, even if you were a casual football fan at that time, you knew who he was, and to hear that he had gone like that, it's a thing, and they're trying to cover it up, but they can't keep covering it up like this. They can't. I'm like, listen, do you know how much has happened in the last week since we recorded?
You talking about the quarterback shell game? I love the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they about to make a big mistake.
What's the mistake?
To keep Ben.
Okay, so we agree. I thought you was going to say letting him go. So the mistake would be
he slowed them down. He's the reason why they didn't go further in the playoffs, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's due $41.3 million towards the cap this year. They got a couple of people on the defensive side that's due bigger contracts. Watts and another person he don't come to mind right now. They won't want their money. Do you sacrifice and give that money to Ben and lose two potential defensive players? The Steelers have always been defense heavy. Even if they had an offense, the defense has always been nice.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. They cannot give that type of money to somebody so far at the end of his career. That would be a completely unwise decision. It's time to let him go, which is so sad because Ben's been there, like that's their quarterback. I don't remember another quarterback in the last 10 years.
And they saying, well, he wants to play. So he's saying he'll even take less money. I don't even want to give him less money. I think
it's time to part ways.
Exactly. So if you lose Ben, who you got waiting? Rudolph and Haskins.
I feel like how Kenny was a Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold up and know when to fold up. It's time to let it fold. It's time to move on. You got to move to the future. You can't hold on to old stuff or you'll never progress. Yeah,
exactly. And because they did so well, they ain't got no high draft picks. So where's the potential to grab somebody that's going to give them a better, chance at winning? I think have Haskins and Rudolph battle it out.
I agree.
See, what happens.
Do you think there's any chance one of our other quarterbacks like Watson will end up there?
No.
I don't think so. I don't see that.
They got a couple of people on the defensive side that do heavy contracts right now. They're not gonna have the money to pay them because those people that's available are gonna demand. Watson is Deshaun is already set. Somebody got to pay him $100 million. You know what I'm saying? So I suggest they let him go. They part ways with him. They still owe him 20. Isn't this crazy? Even if they don't play and they let him go, they still got to pay him $23 million.
What kind of life is that? Say, even if I don't play, I'm going to get $23 million. Good gracious for life. And believe me, it's not all about the money.
It's not.
That's pretty good.
It is.
That's pretty good. So it remains to be seen whether they're going to keep Ben or not. I think, though, even though we don't think that they should, I think they're going to keep him for one more year and take the pay cut. You don't think they're going to do it?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, but I think
they're trying to move on. It's time to move on and go and leave. He was the reason he can't keep up with them. So what's the purpose of keeping them? If Haskins can get his act together, he will fit well in their offense because he's young, like Juju in them. Ben was the reason why, like I just said previously, the reason why they didn't go further. They need somebody back there that's mobile, agile, that's gonna, be able to scope that field and run. Ben has had his turn, has had his 10-year quarterback. It's time to bow out. This is the hardest part of football, if you ask me. When do you cut? When do you stop it? Bar or injury. When do healthy people say enough is enough?
And
Without
I think,
them,
yeah,
being cut and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a part of the problem. No, that was me. I think that's a part of the problem. I think because we were talking about that last week, how you can't duplicate that football life off the field. You can't. And so I think a lot of them hold on to it a lot longer than they should instead of walking away gracefully, you know?
Give me one more, just one more. I can make it. Like we talked about people that play all those years and never get to the big show. Rivers was another one. He had to retire and never been.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you gotta know when. You have to be like, enough is enough. Your body get old.
I feel like Ben is at that place, and I just feel like he needs to know that. I don't think he's in denial about it. Like he wants to hold on, and he should let go.
He should let go. He has something that, like I said, 80%, 10% of the league don't have. He got a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
So at least he's a champion, and he probably will be definitely a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. But just gotta let it go.
Let it go.
Let
it go. Let me let it go. Let me let it go.
So now, this is going to be the quarterback show. So next we're going to talk about, Carson Wentz has gone to the Colts. So remember, Rivers retired, so the Colts was looking for a quarterback. Mm-hmm. There was some noise about Andrew Luck coming back, but the Colts was like, nah, we're going to keep moving on. Let Luck find his footing somewhere else. So they got Wentz for a second and a third round draft pick. I personally think they gave up too much.
No, second and third round ain't bad. First round, that would be a problem. Second and
third. Come on, Sabrina. You at least keep your first and second. If they would have gave up 2/3 or just 1/3, Wentz, Sabrina.
I know, you're right, Wentz. You're right. I got to remember who we talking about.
This dude has, with the word choke, every time. He's not battle tested or proven.
Well,
Foles did that. Foles got them. Oh, Nick Foles got
very true.
Time.
Very true.
He got hurt the first season, and it's so maybe the third round, but a second and a third. That's too much money.
Well, he's got a lot to prove. I'm sure he wants to prove the haters and doubters wrong, and I'm one of them. I'm not a hater. I'm a doubter. So but I don't think that was too much to give up, though.
If he had done more, I can see, but I just feel like the Colts need much. Not only do they need a quarterback, they need a wide receiver. They need somebody on defense. I just feel like they could have used that second round to get a good player, So maybe I would have probably given him the third round. Well, just take him alone. I would have waited till they just released his butt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
I see what you're saying.
That way, but a second and a third, they overpaid.
I see what you're saying. I get it. I think you convinced me.
Ooh, that's a lot. I'm telling you, Sabrina, they're gonna regret that one because that dude is choked every time.
That's what they say, and it is true. It's not people are saying it. It's true. He has, and it's funny because whenever I think of the Eagles, I think of him, but I'm like, no, wait, like you said, that was Foles.
That was Foles.
Yep, you're right.
They won. Foles almost did it the second time because he did it 2 years in a row. That dude got hurt at the end of the season, both of them years, and Foles came in and he almost did it again the second time.
Yep. And we mentioned Deshaun a few minutes ago. Do you think we have any more leads on that, or he's just kind of?
Well, I heard that he was hanging out with the Miami Dolphins players this week. Now, I don't know how.
I could see him in Miami.
But they got Tua.
Right. So what does that mean?
Would you swap out Tua for Deshaun? Sabrina,
I would.
Yeah, but our hesitation, my answer is
I would.
I almost cussed. Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Yes. So,
but Tua hasn't really had enough time to develop in the league. But I still would pick Deshaun. You got to in that scenario.
Because I think the Jets really want Deshaun, but Deshaun ain't going to them.
I wouldn't either.
No, I don't think he wants to go. Because they need so much on the Jets. It's not just a quarterback. They need a strong...
everything. Don't try to name no positions. All of it. Everything.
Oh yeah. So I don't think that Sean ready to start from the bottom. When they starting from the bottom, no, I don't think. I think he wants to start with halfway there.
Right. Be a contender
at least on the way to. So
yeah.
Yeah, so Deshaun, that's the rumor. He was hanging out with the Miami Dolphins
And
players.
just because he was hanging out with them doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Goodness well, they were showing him around town and get him acclimated and stuff, so he could see. Don't you want to come here? That's how they do when they coach the players. You know what I'm saying? Come hang out and see. Plus, if he's young and that city is real vibrant, so we'll see. Okay, then there's Russell Wilson. Russell is I'm telling you, Sabrina. Tom winning this Super Bowl has caused an uproar with all these quarterbacks because back in the day, the myth was you couldn't do it with two teams, and you sure couldn't do it the first year you went to a new team.
No, ma'am. Yep.
But now that Tom has done it, everybody thinking, well, if he do it, I could do it too. So now everybody upset. You got Aaron Rodgers kicking up dust.
Another one,
kicking up dust. These quarterbacks is like, wait a minute. Tom did it, so I can do it. I can do it too. They're a young couple. Maybe Ciara want to live in California, or they want to live in California. They were saying how it would be beneficial for her to be in because of her music career. It'll help her if she was like New York or LA. Or
they mentioned something about the Raiders in Las Vegas. They talked about that. But then I saw other articles like, you know what, everybody's doing all this speculating about Russell. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be a Seahawk. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. But for him to get into the media and say stuff that kind of show that he's unhappy, that's not like him. You know how compliant and and stuff he is. So the fact that he's speaking up means that he's probably open.
Yes.
Now whether it's going to happen,
but I think the Seahawks are so with Russell, they're going to do whatever he wants them to do.
I agree. They're going to make it happen, Captain. They're going to do whatever he needs. Yep.
So speaking of that, let's talk about our team. We've been all over the map. There was talk of Carr coming here. Then they were talking to Donald in the Jets. Then it was Deshaun was coming. Then Russell could be a good fit. Now, the one story that scared the bejeebers out of me was they was even talking about this would be the perfect place for Dak to come.
And listen, like I said on another show, I wouldn't mind that if he had to have that injury. That injury scares me that he had. If it wasn't for that, I'd be like, well, come on, brother. I don't think it would be bad. That it's just because of the injury, I would say no.
So you don't think he's going to be the same?
I don't know whether he's going to be the same. So I wouldn't want to chance it. He would demand a certain level of money. And I don't know if I'd be willing to give him that level of money fresh off an injury like that.
That's true. I totally agree, Granny. I don't want him. Let me keep it real.
Okay, I don't like when former
Cowboys come to our team. We went through this with Dion. You know what I'm saying? When they leave and come here, I feel like they passed that prime. Doc is not past his prime. True, this is a whole different field, but I don't want him here.
See, I'm the opposite.
You want him?
I don't like when Washington players go to Dallas. I don't like that. But if they come in here, give us all the intel, give us the info, help us. You know?
All right.
That's how I feel. But yeah, I don't know where any of these people are going to land. It's like this whole big, like you call it, what you call it, Gwen?
The quarterback shell game.
The quarterback shell game. Shuffling around.
To see who, everybody, I'm telling you, Tom made them go, wait a minute, I don't have to stay here. I could go somewhere else and go. They not Tom though. And they don't have the pieces that he had.
And but Tampa Bay didn't necessarily have the pieces either. Nobody's looked at Tampa Bay and was like, oh, they got all the pieces. They didn't. He made them greater. So when you're in an upper echelon or whatever you want to call it, you can demand your pay.
He's forking out money unbeknownst to everybody. He giving them something. Sabrina, I'm gonna go to my grave with this one. I'm telling you, they did that team had no chance. They were on even with Tom going to the Bucks. Nobody predicted them to be in the Super Bowl. Nobody. And let alone to win it. What happened after week 12? Because they haven't lost since week 12. After the Chiefs beat them, it was like they went to another level.
Yeah. And I think when you have I think everybody, whether it's an organization like business, whether it's football, whatever it is, a church, I don't care what it is. People usually operate at the level of their leader.
That's true.
And so because he's so great, I feel like everybody, even if they was like mediocre or just I'm just a special teams player, they stepped it up because he was there. They saw his excellence, they saw his examples, they saw him and his history, and they was not going to let him down. I think it was him, not all him. They had to all play.
It helped to have pieces there. You right, but man, everybody's like, what you can do, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the quarterbacks, we talking about all Hall of Famers, Russell, Rodgers.
Yeah.
You see Peyton, you see Breeze has been quiet because I think he done.
I think he's going to retire too. I think he's still mulling it over, and I think he's decided, but he just hasn't said it because that's the finality of it.
And they trying to hold on and get him to stay one more year because they've really not. This is what I've read 100% that Jameson can get it done. Like if he leaves, then what's left? Like you have to go to your bench.
Winston.
That's why I say Jameson.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is you talking about Jameis Winston?
Yes.
No, man. That man ain't the answer at all for nobody.
And that's why they like give us one more year until we can get somebody in and acclimate them to our system. So ain't no quarterbacks coming, no decent quarterbacks. Maybe one or two. You know, everybody know Trevor going straight to Jacksonville. So it's like that's it. It's not a deep pool of good quarterbacks this draft. So a lot of people have to work with their bench.
We gonna see, girl. It's a lot of shuffling gonna be going on.
Shuffle city, and I too. But out of all the people that's available, if I had to pick somebody, I would have to say Deshaun over everybody for me. Even though I don't want him to come, that's the person that I could say. And then second, it would be Dak. But
I agree in that order. Even though, like you said, we don't necessarily want either of them, but if we had to pick.
The quarterback position not deep coming out for this draft. They maybe got one or two good quarterbacks in. Everybody else fall, third or fourth round, but we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do. Like if Breeze leaves, then it's Jameson. And then if Roethlisberger leaves, then it's Rudolph or Haskins. So it's like.
It would be Rudolph, I think, and Haskins would be the backup.
I think Haskins is better than him.
I think so, but I don't think he's ready.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, well, how long is he going to sit? But I think he does need a little bit more seasoning. Let him simmer on the stove a little bit.
So, yeah, I just wanted to put our front office up to because I just say go with the pieces you have. I'm telling you, Sabrina, I think they ready to part ways with Alex.
It's like you read my mind. I was about to say, I think Alex is gone. Yep. I think
Alex, they doing too much reaching out to everybody.
And I wonder how that makes a player feel. Like I'm sitting here and I done did all this and I see you all over the news reaching out. That has to make them feel some type of way.
You have to keep it in their mind that it's business. Nobody wants to be traded or whatever,
right?
But it's business.
Right.
So it definitely hurts their feelings. You can't tell me it doesn't. Make them feel some type of way. I think that's why when people leave teams and when they play that team, they go all in to beat that team because it's personal. It's not supposed to be, but how can it not be? We're human beings.
Yeah, and even though they act like, oh, it's not a big deal, it's just another game, you lying.
Exactly.
It means something.
It's no way. I would definitely be all out to get that person, that team.
Fights and heels. And because YouTube, they need to understand that there's a demand for this type of video because, you have a lot of men out there talking like this. You don't see too many women. So YouTube needs to understand that, people want to see these types of videos. So please be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Please.
And tell a friend, tell any male or female that's interested in football. We're going to start working on our social media part of it to grow our brand.
Yeah. So come join us. Please subscribe. Hit that button. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit all of that because it helps YouTube to know that people want to see it. So, okay, now we talked about all the quarterbacks. Now we got to go to our man, J.J. Watt. He was released by the Texans along with Deshaun. And also, we didn't even talk about the fact that they've been saying how the culture in the Texans organization is real bad. The leadership is terrible. That's what they've been saying. And so that was a part of what made both Deshaun and J.J. leave.
Based in Houston, we have a problem. I'm telling
Oh my God.
Everybody cutting out that city like it's
Yeah.
crazy. And then the GM resigned. Apparently, he was part of the problem.
Yeah.
So it's
So
like, what's going on? And you hear former player Hopkins was like, it's the worst place on earth. I would love to know what happened.
I would love for all of them to be able to sit down at a round table and just talk. I know they can't and probably won't, but that would be so nice just to hear what in the world was so terrible.
You know what it got to be part of it.
Probably.
Yeah. But I think JJ was let go because he stood up for that.
And that's what I was reading. They were saying that he saw what was going on and didn't like it.
Spoke out. Yeah.
Bowed out. And I'm like, you go, brother. All right.
Exactly. Woohoo.
Yeah.
But this is, like you said, that's something that's definitely going on. But where you think he's going to land, Beanie?
So there's been a lot of rumors and speculations. I think he's going to land with a team like the Browns or maybe, who else, Gwen? And then we all know it would be great if he did land with the Steelers, with his brother. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great to have both of your children playing on the same team? First of all, it's hard enough to make it to the NFL, but to have both of your sons in the league and then playing for the same team, that's amazing. That would be a dream come true.
Exactly.
So we don't know where he's going to land. It could be several teams. The Packers, I've heard that. We'll see. I just applaud him.
He's not at the end of his career yet, but he could still like his numbers were way down this year. You know, as far as his sacks and stuff like that. I think with the right energy behind him, he could be viable again. And I think playing with his brother will help give him that boost or that that thing he needs, that incentive to, you know. So yeah, any team that gets him, as long as they don't overpay for him, which I don't think he can garner the numbers, the high numbers anyway, because his productivity was down last year. But any team that gets him, he's going to be a viable part of that team.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, anybody that needs someone in his position would be a fool not to go after him.
We kind of spoke about it last week, but can we go a little bit more into the incident with Andy Reid's son?
Yes. So as you know, we were all watching the Super Bowl, and there was this little skim over type of thing they were doing, just kind of mentioning in passing how Andy Reid's son was in an accident like the Thursday before the Super Bowl. So what's that, 3 days before? And he had been drinking and he hit a car with a little girl in it. And the little girl ended up in a coma, critical condition and stuff. And so the question is like, number one, what goes on with these players and these coaches' sons? Because so many coaches' sons have had issues, have died, have had terrible demises, sometimes at their own hands. And it's like, what happens is that they don't get enough attention. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, what is it that causes them to drink? And
I think it's having a rich, powerful parent, a famous parent, and you said too, the father's not home, and then individual like just trouble in the family, and then with more money comes more problems. Now, you know,
because if you have a vice, usually money opens you up to it more.
Like, girl.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, we don't know what's going to happen to Andy Reid's son. I think his name is Britt. I don't know what's going to happen to, if that's his name, I'm going to put it down there. But I don't know what's going to happen to him. But I just feel like he's going to probably not get what the average person would get because of who he's connected to. I'm sure Andy Reid has a legal team in place to make sure that, you know, his son gets off. And Andy Reid has had some trouble. Like his other son, they found him when he was with the Eagles, I think, when Andy was with the Eagles, and they got a call that his son was at the facility, the Eagles facility, and he had offed himself basically. And I'm like, what is that? And then now this with his other son, he's probably like, man, like what's going on? I just feel bad.
Control.
Yeah, I feel bad for all of them.
Understand how blessed they are in the situation and to realize, you know, with that money and that notoriety comes a lot of responsibility
and a lot of temptation.
Exactly. So when you hear of the stories, well, this person is has such violence off the field or never got into any trouble, we act like those are anomalies. That's the way it's supposed to be. But when a person like we was talking about Kerrigan, how he was so, never did anything volunteer. And we acting like, oh wow, but isn't that the norm? But it's so not the norm for that now that we get it twisted.
Right.
So do you know a couple of my family members had the audacity to come to me about Vanilla Funk?
In a bad way or a good way?
And they're basically saying, okay, first they were saying, okay, The Weeknd is a professional, he can sing, but let's call it like it is. The Weeknd. W-E-A-K.
The Weeknd.
Because that's how I'm feeling about him. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like him. And I know it's different, but how many times have you seen a Caucasian drum major stand up?
Can you see a marching band at the halftime show and just get a good singer to play with them? Oh God.
Exactly. Come on now. So you pick a marching band over, I sure did.
Yeah, I mean, after looking at it, I was like, he is good. I would rather see that than that stumbling around in them mirrors. Say it again.
You go and watch more videos of him?
Oh, I've been watching more videos. It's funny, since Gwen has introduced me to Vanilla Funk, I've been watching his videos. He's really good.
And he's the lead drum major. Where he was. He's in college now.
Oh, okay.
I like it because you don't put color on everything. People are people. You know what I'm saying?
And you either have it or whatever it is, or you don't.
Exactly. Yep. And dude was tearing it up. If you go, we couldn't put too much in our show, but if you go and watch his video, he always on point, and he's better than all of them.
He like this.
Yeah.
He having it down.
I like him. So I sure did, and I'm going to continue to say I would have definitely picked even the high school marching band over The Weeknd. That show was so forgettable.
Absolutely. The only part I remember is the part that I thought was comical. So the part that I remember wasn't for a good reason. In the mirror, like, where I'm going, where am I? No. If he became a meme, that's not good.
Exactly. So I'm like, no.
And then bandages look like underwear in your face. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And Sabrina, I'm just 2 weeks removed, and I still can't believe that Super Bowl went down the way it did. Now that all the hoopla and humdrum is over, you can go back and look and dissect. I think Mahomes was a little bit worse off than they wanted to admit.
Right.
Between the concussion and the toe, pick one. The Bucks played. We got to give them, the Bowls had them ready.
Yeah, the defense.
And we just,
And Tom had a post recently, within the last day or two, basically saying, I kept all the receipts. In other words, all the people that said I couldn't do it, I know who you are, and don't ever let people tell you what you can and can't do. And I'm like, okay, I like that.
Okay, I like that too, but come on, don't see, that's gonna make me hate you again. So come on now.
What is that?
Sabrina.
We are not going back to Hate Town. We are coming out of there.
But don't be talking about you capital receipts. Anybody would have doubted it because it hadn't been done. I would have liked him more if he would have been humble about it and said
he was humble. He didn't run his mouth.
Receipts. He keeping receipts, Sabrina. That means you coming at a person like, yeah, I got my receipt. I'm gonna prove to you that you.
Let me tell you, humility. Listen, he had to listen to people all season saying why he do that. He can't do it. He's 42. He's 43. He had to listen to all that. He ain't say
nothing. And then you proved them wrong. So then you go, you know what? Even with all the doubts, I'm glad that God gave me the opportunity to win another Super Bowl. Bam. Yes. You ain't got to be, I kept all the receipts. That's why I don't like him. Keep your, man.
I feel the Hate Town. You're moving back to Hate Town. Come on back.
Give it to him. He's been to the Super Bowl 10 times. Yep. That's half of his NFL career. He's won 7. You got to give it to him. But man, I just want somebody else to be the GOAT.
Which is what he was basically saying. Like, he knows that everybody wanted somebody else, but he like, not today, not this time.
Nope.
Okay.
But what's done is done. So hopefully the Chiefs have learned the lesson. And they can put it together, because I still think they're Super Bowl contenders. Like, who in the AFC going to beat them? If they keep that team together like that,
they'll be right back next year. There's no reason why they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And You know, you got to win some and lose some.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lesson. I bet you they come ready the next time. But I pray to God somebody else in the NFC get their act together. Because, man, I do not want to see Tom back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. And who would it be? It won't be the Saints because Drew gonna be gone. I'm gonna be calling that.
It's gonna have to be. I think Green Bay gonna do what Aaron want, and the Seahawks gonna do what Aaron want. So it's gonna be the same people from this year, but hopefully one of them can win.
But
And
why can't it be Washington, daggone
I'm
it?
about to say, hopefully we're in the running. If we get out to get my man 6-pack or keep Allen, because the defense is ready.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the football when they wasn't making $50 million a year.
I know they don't want to go back to that. They're like, give me my 50 million.
I just want the play to come back.
Right.
You know, that oomph to come back, you know. And with all the new rules, because the CTEs and all that other stuff, they can't hit like they used to. I used to love to see them hit.
Ooh, you know? They used to
oh my goodness. Palomalu and Taylor.
Ooh.
Good night, Irene.
Yes.
But yeah, I just can't believe we 2 weeks removed and I'm still going, what happened?
Girl, he gonna let you know because he kept his receipts.
See, there you see. I'm talking about right there. Keeping our receipts. Stan is okay. Stand up the point.
Come on out. We reformed. We repented of the hate.
It's disgust.
Yeah, that's better. That's a better word.
I'm disgusted. He just, man, I can't stand him. I can't stand him. But oh well.
Draft. Before you know it, we're gonna be looking at the draft and then the off-season workouts and all that. It's y'all stay with us. It's gonna be something to talk about every week.
Every week.
I'm telling you, you might be missing football, but you ain't got to miss it
every
when
week.
You have spikes in heels.
So please keep watching and look forward to more segments from us.
Yes. We hope you all have a great week. It's in DC area here. It's been really snowy lately. I don't know what it's like where you are, but really snowy, cold. It's wintertime, so it's to be expected, but I don't know. Stay warm.
Yeah, I might have to go back on my vitamin D and K treatment. Looking a little pale. But I'm still not going out. Sabrina hit a dead on the head. I did go leave this house for 4 months. And I was happy.
Oh my goodness.
I was happy. So yeah, it's no keeping us in now, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, so that's it for today. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Gwen. Stay safe, stay blessed, love someone. Bye.
Bye-bye.